Hello there. Are you a new or independent filmmaker looking for some low budget solutions to expensive filmmaking gear? Well, I think that you're in the right place. My name is Taylor Coleman. I'm the CEO, lead writer, director, and producer at Crystal Ignition LLC. We are a small independent film and video production company located in Jacksonville, Florida. And on this channel, we talk filmmaking and we also do a little bit of gaming to relax and have fun. If that interests you, stick around for the intro, and when we get back, we'll get started.
Baby, it's whatever. All this ever, but you long gone, it don't matter. Ride or die, that's been the deal.
All right, everyone, so welcome back. As I said before the intro, today we're going to be talking about 5 low budget solutions to expensive filmmaking gear. Without further ado, let's get started with number 5 on the list. Number 5 is going to be the Deity Boom Pole. Now, there's a key principle in filmmaking that you learn pretty much day one, or if not day one, your first year of film school. That is going to be that your audience will forgive you for poor cinematography, but they will absolutely under no circumstance forgive you for poor audio quality. That is why it is so important that you have really good audio gear and you have a really good sound mixer behind you on your productions. With that being said, for those of you that are interested in purchasing your own filmmaking gear, your own audio gear, you might have taken a look and you might have seen that a lot of this stuff is really expensive. In particular, the boom pole is a tool that you'll often see from a lot of companies that have introduced boom poles, but you have to be very careful when selecting one because a poor quality boom pole, any little movement from your hands or your boom pole operator's hands will transfer up the pole into the microphone. That is why you have to select a really good quality boom pole. I'm recommending the Deity boom pole because Deity Microphones has done a very good job of bridging the gap between quality and cost. When compared to things like the higher end K-Tech models, the Deity boom pole comes in at $199, and that is a very, very good price for a boom pole of this quality. For my no budget filmmakers in the audience, if you still cannot afford this boom pole, I will also recommend the K-Tech Iro boom pole. It's one that I've used throughout undergrad. We still have one here at the studio at Crystal Ignition, and that is also a really good choice. So the Deity boom pole, or if you can't afford that, the Iro boom pole. Moving on to number 4. Number 4 on the list is going to be the Deity Theos Lab system. As I said earlier, and I want to reiterate this, your audience will forgive you for poor cinematography. They will not forgive you for poor audio quality. For those of you that are interested in getting into sound mixing, and again, or purchasing your own location sound kit, you might have noticed that a lot of the entry-level systems are very, very expensive. When you look at things like the Sennheiser G4s, you get one transmitter, one receiver, and that costs upwards of $700. And you also have to take into consideration whether or not you're in the legal bandwidth so that you don't get in trouble with the law. That can be pretty overwhelming for new filmmakers, and if you can't afford to get a sound mixer, you might decide to forego having wireless audio at all. That is why I recommend the Deity Lab system. This system comes with one receiver, 2 transmitters. It can record internally with the SD card. Not only that, it can be controlled using Deity Microphones app. So with this app, not only can you control their Deity Theos system, you can also control time code generators. They're time code Slate, and it works with all Deity products that record wireless audio. So as you continue to expand your location sound kit, you will still have access to those features. You will still get updates, and all around, it's just very, very good value. It comes in at $1,099 for the kit, but compared to things like the Zascom kits or the Sennheiser kits, it is a very, very good budget-friendly wireless audio kit. Now, for my no-budget filmmakers that might not be able to afford that, I recommend the Godox WMic S1. Um, that is a kit that I, again, have used in undergrad, and all of our YouTube videos on this channel, the ones that are recorded outside, that is the lab that I wear. It's a very good kit. Not exactly something I would bring on to a Hollywood production, but it's certainly good enough for no budget or indie filmmakers. So moving on to number 3. Number 3 on the list is going to be the Sarui anamorphic lenses. So for those of you in my audience that are camera nerds, I know you all love to look at the different cameras and the different specs and whatnot, and I'm sure you've noticed that a lot of the anamorphic lenses are very, very expensive. That look can be very challenging to get for new or low budget filmmakers. That is why I'm recommending the Sarui anamorphics. A few years ago, they came out with these. They allow you to get a 1.33 squeeze factor. So effectively, if you're shooting, say, Micro Four Thirds, you will have a kind of stereotypical Hollywood look at the end. Now, they have been criticized for looking a little too clean, but when we're talking indie films and low budget, I think that a lot of filmmakers will really appreciate just being able to shoot anamorphic. Again, some of my earlier YouTube videos on this channel, if you take a look, they were shot with the 50mm Sarui anamorphic. We have a set here. We use them. Very good lenses. So you can find these available on eBay. They range from around $400 to $700. You can also go to the Sarui store, where they still have these in stock. So again, they're very good value for what you get. When you look at things like, Cook cinema lenses, or even like the Dezio film anamorphic lenses, they are very, very, very expensive. That's why most filmmakers, they just don't even own them. They will rent anamorphics before they own them because they are so expensive. So if you're interested in picking up some anamorphic lenses, go for the Sarui anamorphic lenses. Now, before we move on, I want to talk about one of our affiliates. For those of you that don't know, Crystal Ignition LLC is officially partnered with Books A Million. Books A Million is one of the leading book retailers in the United States of America, and I actually shop there all the time. I say that a lot, but I am serious. If you live in Jacksonville, Florida, you probably have seen me in the Books A Million. Most recently, I picked up a copy of Murtaugh by Christopher Paolini. So I shop there all the time. That is not me just saying that. They're not giving me a script to say that. It's one of the reasons why I am so proud that we are partnered with them as affiliate partners. So we do our book of the month, and this month we are recommending Lighting for Cinematography by David Landau. This is a good book for those of you that don't know anything about lighting. It teaches you some really good entry-level setups, gives you kind of a rundown of the tools that you will use to light a scene, and some other useful tips to keep in mind as you go on to set. So it's a really good book. Again, it's Lighting for Cinematography by David Landau. Link in the description below. And also, if you use the link in our blog post, it'll go a long way to help the studio. So if you want to help us out, we don't ask for donations or anything like that. But if you want to help the studio, use the link in our blog post. All right, everyone, and that takes us to number 2 on the list. Number 2 on the list is going to be the Glide Gear Lay Low Mounting Plate. So, for those of you that watch a lot of behind the scenes footage, and you should, you might have seen that filmmakers love to do hi hat shots. These are very low angle shots where the camera is very low to the ground. They might be used in action scenes, or I guess a better way to describe it is narratively. If you would like to depict a character as being very powerful or they're looking down on something, you would use a hi hat shot or like a low level shot. Now, if you've taken a look at some different websites that sell filmmaking gear, you might have noticed that hi hats are very, very expensive. Um, I believe they range from about $600 to over $1,000. And that's not even taking into consideration the bowl for a fluid head, for your tripod head, and whatever else you might need to get that up and running. That is why I'm recommending the Glide Gear Lay-Low mounting plate. This is simple little plate. It has some rubber protectors on the feet so you won't damage any surfaces. And what it is simply is just a plate for you to mount your rig onto. It allows you to put your rig in places like a refrigerator or a car trunk or on the ground so you can record action scenes of cars driving by. Just a very, very good tool, and I highly recommend it for those of you looking to get a really cheap kind of low level hi-hat type shot. For my no budget filmmakers, and I have another solution here for you guys, I would recommend using an Apple box. If you have one, you can just take your rig, place it on there. If you have some sandbags, even better, you can place some sandbags on that Apple box. Definitely keep an eye on your rig or your camera so it won't fall over. But that's just another way to get a hi-hat shot if you cannot afford the Glide Gear Lay-Low mounting plate. And that's going to lead us, everyone, to number one on the list. Number one on the list is going to be the Zoom F3 audio recorder. Now, everybody, as I've been saying this entire video, audio is incredibly important, and that is why I wanted to provide value with this video by letting you know that you can get the Zoom F3 and get really, really good audio for all of my low budget and no budget filmmakers. So if you've looked around at audio recorders, you might have noticed that things like the sound devices and the Zoom F8, they start at over $1,000. That is very, very expensive. And again, if you're looking at what Hollywood uses when you're like the Zascom systems and whatnot, those can easily go between $5, $10, even $20,000 for an audio recorder. That is very, very expensive. We here at Crystal Ignition LLC use a Zoom F6, but even that starts now at $800. Well, Zoom has the Zoom F3 audio recorder. It is targeted at indie and documentary filmmakers. It has 2 XLR ports, and it can be controlled using Zoom's F3 app, which is available on Android and iPhone. Records 32-bit float. You have a backup recording as well, I believe. And what's important is that the XLR ports are the same as on the Zoom F8 and the Zoom F6. They are very, very high quality for what you get, and Zoom is a reliable audio company. This system starts at $300, but I'm sure if you can look around, you might be able to find it on sale for lesser price. So yeah, this is a very, very good system. If you need to get an audio recorder or you're just starting out, I highly recommend that you save your money and get the Zoom F3 system. And that is going to take us to the end of the video. So leave a comment down below. Let me know if you found this video to be useful. If you disliked the video, dislike the video and let me know. If you liked it, like the video, let me know. If you have some gear that you'd like to share, that you think new filmmakers or indie filmmakers should know about, comment down below. Let us all know. And yeah, I hope you have a good day or night wherever you are. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.